Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be covering crafting recipes and smelting recipes, and all of that is done through JSONs, so we're not going to be coding today. So let's start by creating the package where all our recipes are going to be. Let's right click on our data package and create a new package. Then we can delete the .loot_tables.blocks and type .recipes. Now in here we can create our recipe. Let's right click, new, file, and call it the name of the result for our recipe. So in my case, example block. And this is a JSON, so add .json at the end. Now let's open up that file and add curly braces like so. So first I'm going to be going over shaped crafting recipes. So in order to make a shaped crafting recipe, we type and then Minecraft crafting shaped. And now the recipe knows that it's doing a shaped crafting recipe. Next, we need to define the pattern for the crafting table. So let's type pattern and a colon, and this time we're going to open square brackets. Inside of our pattern, we're going to create 3 empty strings. And these 3 empty strings are going to define the shape of our crafting recipe. Say for example, I wanted to make a crafting recipe which is just going to be 9 stone blocks. To do that, let's say S is stone, and I'm going to lay the letters out as if it's a crafting table. There we go. If I wanted to change something to a diamond, for example, I can put a D here, and now it's a diamond. If I was to make a custom door, for example, I'd have something like this. And what this lets me do is craft the door in both sides of the crafting recipe. Similarly, you can remove this string here, and now we can see that the crafting recipe is 2x2, and you'll be able to craft it anywhere in the crafting table. If you want to have a gap in your recipe, we can just put a space. So for example, I can do this if I want to make a boat out of the custom planks. But now we need to define what P actually stands for. So in order to do that, we need to define our keys. So let's type key and open more curly braces. Now let's type the letter that we want our key to be. Press colon and then open curly braces. In here we can type item, add a colon, and now we define P as Minecraft, oak planks. And this will use oak planks as our crafting recipe. If we wanted to change it to our custom block, we change this Minecraft to our mod ID. However, let's say I also want to have our custom item. So I'm going to change this to E, then copy all of this, add a comma, and put it here. Now let's change this P to an E, and now we can change it to our mod ID, in my case tutorial mod, example item. And finally we have to define what block we are given as the result. So let's type result and open braces, and here we type the item that's the result. So let's do item, and this item is going to be tutorial mod example block. However, in our result, we also need to tell how many of them we're going to output. So in my case, I'm going to output 3. And there we go. That is a custom shaped recipe. Now let's create a shapeless recipe. So in recipes, I'm going to right click and create a new file. And this is going to be example item.json. So once again, let's open curly braces. And this time, our type is Minecraft crafting shapeless. Now we don't need to define our pattern, but we need to define the ingredients. And this is a list, so we're going to use square brackets. And to define an element of the list, we just open curly braces. And to craft our example item, I'm going to need a redstone block. And actually, I'm going to need not 1 redstone block, but 3 of them. So let's copy and paste that. And finally, the last thing I'm going to need to make my item is 1 gunpowder. And that is all we need for our shapeless recipe, except for, of course, the result. And the result is the same as in the example block, so we just type result, open curly braces, and then let's do tutorial mod example item. So in my case, it's going to be 28. And that is our shapeless recipe. However, there's also another thing we can do instead of declaring the item. We can declare the tag. We can use tag and then a forge or Minecraft tag, for example, forge ingots iron, and this will allow iron ingots from any mod, or forge ingots copper, which will also allow copper ingots from any mod. We can also use Minecraft tags with Minecraft block / planks, for example. But I'm just going to leave it as my item for now. Now let's create a furnace recipe. I want to be able to smelt my item into my block. So let's create that. We can actually name these recipes anything we want, so I'm just going to call it example item smelt. Let's open this up, and obviously we need to change our type to Minecraft smelting. Then instead of ingredients, we just need ingredient. And let's open this up. And here we're just going to have item, tutorial mod, example item. Then let's put a comma here. And instead of this, in our result, we just put tutorial mod example block. Then we add the experience value that we get. I'm just going to put 0.6. And finally, the cooking time. This is in ticks, which is the number of seconds we want, multiplied by 20. So in my case, I'm going to do 5 seconds times 20, that's 100 ticks. And there we go, that's our smelting recipe. So now let's start the game and see what happens. There we go, that's our recipe for our block. And remember, we can move this anywhere we want in the crafting table. We also had the shapeless recipe for our example item, and we can smelt our item for 5 seconds to get our example block. That's going to do it for this episode. Now that we've got all the easy stuff out the way, we can start doing stuff that's more interesting, like machines, dimensions, and other cool stuff. But for now, I'll see you all next time.